Hi there, grade sevens. This unit might seem to be a bit of a repeat for you. It shouldn't, because what we're going to do is we'll look at it from a different point of view. We are going to do a unit on measurement, and we're going to specifically look at perimeter and area, and not just of normal shaped things. Okay, we're talking about figuring out things like how do you get around to doing the perimeter and the area of a trapezoid, of a triangle, that kind of stuff. Now, again, some of it is stuff you've done before, but most of it is going to be looked at differently, because we're not just going to take a look at the actual measurement, we're also going to look at the implications of it from an algebraic point of view. Okay? So let me give you an example of some of the things that we will be working on over the next little while, so you at least get an idea of where we're going with this whole thing. All right, here we go. Okay, so in the past, when you've worked on perimeter and area, it's always been with a specific idea of knowing what the width and the length were, right? So if you were trying to figure out what the perimeter of this would be, what would you do? Well, you could probably do L times 2 plus W times 2, or whatever. You'd have to come up with an algebraic formula. It's a little bit easier when you're taking a look at some kind of cube, because you know that each side is going to be exactly the same length. But when you start looking at triangles and trapezoids and other shapes, figuring out the area, figuring out the perimeter becomes a little more difficult. So what we want to do over the next, say, 2 to 3 weeks, is take a look at how we actually do that, not only in terms of the application of it, sitting there and actually measuring these things, but also how do you do it when you look at the algebraic point of view. Okay, so what I've got on the page with you here is a series of questions where you actually have a shape, whether it's a cube, whether it's a rectangle, and you may have 1 or 2 measurements, and you have to figure out exactly what that is. What I want you to do is not only think of how to measure that, but also is there an algebraic equation that will allow you to get the answer. Okay, so give it a shot. That's the kind of thing we're going to start out with. As we go along, we're going to get a little more complicated and a little more detailed in how we're going to look at it. Okay, all right, give it a try, and we'll start talking about it tomorrow.